Gonna go up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Bird South 2025. Let's get it up. Yeah. Yeehaw. Just want to make your way forward up here into the seating area. Make sure all of our speakers and our judges are seated up here up front. Again, if you need to grab some coffee or some water, it's just right over here on the side. We also have a little bit of breakfast snacks. If you need to use for restrooms, are located right here to the left corridor as well. And also, if you haven't downloaded the Hoova app, please do so. There's QR codes on all the signage around here. So we will go ahead get started here in a few minutes. Thank you. Right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of Converge South 2025. Thank you all so much for being here today as us founders and investors and judges and speakers. We're all here together for one thing, and that's community and how we're bringing that back up. So thank you all so much for coming back for day 2. My name is Chef Josh McGee. I'm a Flywheel Foundation board member, and I'll be your main stage MC today. Hopefully, no one got sick of all the yeehaws and howdies, because that's going to happen again today. So, yeehaw! As a Southern chef, historian, entrepreneur, and passionate advocate for Appalachian foodways, I feel right at home surrounded by all of us fellow founders pursuing our passions. I want to take a moment to give a rundown of today's programming. So this morning, we'll be announcing new programming offers, followed by a keynote speaker presentation by Vincent Hunt. And we will have a presentation by the 5 companies in the 2025 Health Equity Innovation Challenge, sponsored by Atrium and Advocate Health, as well as the Lilly Foundation and the Flywheel Foundation administrates the challenge on behalf of our sponsors. That will also be followed up by the title round pitches and award of the grand prize. The main stage presentations will conclude at 11:30 a.m. and at that time we will begin 3 concurrent activities until 3 p.m. The investor one-on-one meetings will be at the numbered tables right here to the back, here in the atrium. So if you haven't already signed up for them, you can go ahead and do so in the Hoover app. Office hours will continue starting at 11:30 a.m. today, and you can sign up for sessions at the info table near the registration, which is right there in the back. And the office hours are: First Launch Venture Studio will be in room 152. Flywheel Advisors will be in 1549. And then Michael Best LLP in room 156. So Flywheel Advisors will be a go-to-market strategy, and Michael Best LLP will be legal. Corporate matchmaking sessions are today in rooms 153 and 155 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can also sign up for 30-minute appointments at the info table with Charter Medical, Atrium Health, Regenerative Medicine, Fifth Letter, Excalibur Direct Mail, Wake Forest University School of Medicine, Wildfire, Advocate Health, and LabCorp Ventures. We will finish the day with our concluding keynote speaker, Eric Wiseman, ecosystem leader in Greenville, South Carolina, and executive director of NextGen. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Nathan Powell, founding member of Flywheel here in Winston-Salem, and one of our regular panelists at Pitch Stage live events. Nathan is a twice exited startup founder, venture capital investor, and connoisseur of barbecue. So hopefully you're buying a bunch of y'all sauce for that. Right? He's currently a member of the investment committee at First Launch Capital Fund, which is here in the Triad, and provides fractional support for early stage companies. Let's give Nathan a round of applause to the stage.
All right. Peter, I got my timer on. All right. Well, good to see everybody. Really excited to be here, and even more excited today to announce that we're launching a new concept Triad, First Launch Studio. Uh, as the name implies, a venture studio. Something we've been working on in stealth mode for the last several months, partnering with Peter, Elliot over here, to get this thing and bring it to this concept to market. So what exactly is a venture studio? I'm going to run through that real quick, and then I'll just explain to you why we're doing this now. So venture studios are, at its core, it's about building startups. That's what we want to do. And it's we work with founders, entrepreneurs, we work with corporations, really anyone that's at the idea stage all the way up to the early stages. But what we want to do is help bring to bear all the resources that you need to get your startup to a fundable position. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by being really good at those early stages. It's all the things we got founders here today. You know what I'm talking about. It's all those things from taking your idea, going out and validating it, building your MVP, and building that iterative relationship with your customers, getting that thing to market. That's what we want to do really well, and then hopefully get you to a stage where this thing can grow and scale up. And who are we? Well, we're folks that love to tackle hard problems and build. We're like operators, engineers. We obsess about product. One thing I mentioned here on the lower right corner is all about GTD. That's getting things done. At the core, it's we have great processes, but we want to get things done, taking things from the theoretical space and turning them into reality. I mentioned that we work with founders, startups, and companies. We also wanted to add in here the ecosystem. Uh, Part of the concept, venture studio concept, we don't want to take and bring all the stuff in house. We want to work with the existing resources that we have around the triad. We've got great resources, programs, stuff like this, Flywheel, Winston Starts, Launch Greensboro. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and we want to work with the community. So, where did this concept come from? Well, this is something I started about summer of last year, and for those that know me, I grew up here in Winston. My natural inclination is to help. Sometimes too much, but I do like to help. That's what I like to do. And so I actually made this slide right here. I think it's a pretty awesome slide. But it really shows what's happening across the triad, how the startup community, the startup ecosystem is expanding. We're producing some great companies. So I thought about what can I do to help? I'd love to build businesses, but what could I do? And that's where I started kind of honing in on the studio concept. Um, and really, what it is we want to just help expand the ecosystem. We're not trying to compete against existing programs and resources. We want to work with everyone. We hope that we can, for example, create startups that can go into the existing. We've got incubators and accelerators. We have events like this. We want to be a participant in that and work with everyone here. Actually, I mentioned we're in stealth mode. Not anymore. We've announced, but we've been working on a few projects over the last several months. One of those projects actually pitched yesterday. It's Carify. We're working with another one right now in the HR space. The founder is here today, Sarah. She's out here in the audience. And we've got a couple other ones. We're working on one in equine space and then one in managed services. So we're hoping that these can, they're all at various stages, but we're really excited to bring these concepts to market. Lastly, I just want to really emphasize the, the service nature of this concept. Um, we really want to just help the triad as best we can and expand the ecosystem. But this is a mantra that we used at the first company I worked at in my career. It stuck with me and through everything I've done throughout my career. And it's change the world, have fun, make money in that order. And that's the thing that's going to drive us. Um, so uh, we're excited. We're hoping we can build some great stuff together over the coming years. So thanks a bunch, and see you around. Oh, okay. I don't think so. Okay. So that's the first launch. All right. So now I'd like to invite Tyler to come up to stage. Tyler's an entrepreneur in residence at Flywheel's Greenville, South Carolina location. He's a three-time founder, most recently pivoting from Sagacity to the new resource he is announcing today, the Startup Horse. So please welcome Tyler.
How's everybody doing? I gotta say, guys, I've been coming to Converge This is my third year here, and I sat through 15 pitches yesterday. I walked around the exhibit floor, talked to dozens of founders. I think by far this is the most impressive and strongest cohort of founders I've seen at this event. So props to you guys and thanks to the Flywheel team for putting together a fantastic event. Um, as Nathan said, I'm Tyler Senecal. I'm the entrepreneur resident at the Greenville Flywheel location. Some of you guys might know me better as the guy who brought the candy bowl yesterday. If you liked that, I have good news. It's back. But I'm here today to promote a new project that I'm working on called the Startup Verse, and it's a resource that I think will benefit everybody who's in this room. And I'm just here to kind of talk a little bit about that. So the Startup Verse is it is not a pivot from my last company. My last company was good old fashioned crash and burn, wind down. But we sold software into venture capital firms, and through that, I collected tons of information about VC firms, lists that I was using to contact firms and things like that. And so I did what any founder did after I shut that company down. I went to an AI agent and I researched every single one of those firms. So I had an agent running for days and it collected like 45,000 data points across 4,500 different firms. The equivalent of just hundreds of hours of research. And so I put that into a VC directory that's free. I invite everybody who's here. I'd love for you to sign up for it. If you're fundraising, I promise it's going to save you time. So you can go to the startupverse.com. You can enter your info and mention that you're at this event. I'll make sure that you get approved for that. So there we go. Yeah, so if you go to this site and mention that you're at Converge South, I'll make sure you get a free unlimited access. We're building some other resources, so some of the other things in the pipeline. I'm talking with vendors and tech folks who sell into startup founders. So we're going to have discounts on things like cap table management software, incorporation software, your accounting stuff, CRM, all of that stuff. So that's coming soon down the pipeline. And then the second plug I wanted to make is if you are an organization here, if you work with founders, we want to partner with you. So we've started partnering with ESOs all across the Southeast, and we're going to have partners nationally. Flywheel is one of our partners. There's no cost to our partnership. We just want to make sure this resource gets in the hands of more founders. So there's about 150 fundraising founders from all across the U.S. using this now. Folks using the platform have raised over $30 million. And so my goal by the end of the year is to get 500 founders using this thing. Think about in our communities, if just one or two more companies a year got funded because they got access to an investor that made sense, that'd be huge for our ecosystems. And so that's what I want to do. So if you're an ESO, I'd love to chat with you after this, or you can shoot me an email, tyler@thestartupverse.com. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our first keynote speaker, Vincent Hunt. So Vincent is a frontier technologist, author, and the founder and CEO of the Bureau of Creative Intelligence, a post-industrial economy leadership enablement company helping visionary leaders thrive in complexity. Since 1995, he has been living in the frontier, charting the edges of technology, creativity, culture, and human potential long before they hit the mainstream. Vincent's work sits at the intersection of creative intelligence, technology integration, and systems-level transformation. He doesn't follow trends. He builds the tools leaders need to navigate what's next. So please welcome Vincent to the main stage.
Yeah, they got me up there. Good stuff. Situation they got up here. How's everybody doing? I saw everybody kind of trinkling. Go ahead and clap it up for yourselves, for real. No, I'm serious. Like, clap up for yourself. You made it here. I'm definitely not a good kid, so don't make me be a kid. I might jump off the stage. If I jump, it's gonna be okay. Is the camera gonna get me? Okay. Bet. All right. I just got to make sure. I got to find out what the rules are. I said, what's the stage rules? Like, what can I do? What can't I do? Give me some parameters. But I'm super, super excited about being here. I've been thinking about this for a long time because we're in a very, very interesting place as it pertains to like technology, humanity, right? All of us like trying to figure stuff out in a time of rapid change and ambiguity. That's where we are, right? I think we've all felt it in one shape, form, or another. My name is Vincent Hunnigan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Bureau of Creative Intelligence. Just a little bit more information about me. We're going to stick on this frame because there's nothing sexy or exciting about it. So we'll go to the next. The Bureau of Creative Intelligence is focused on the relationship between technology, human creativity, and the future, right? Our work lives in that intersection where emerging technologies meet human creative capacity, exploring how we can expand, amplify, and preserve creativity in the age of machines. That's kind of like the underlying component of everything that I'm going to talk about today. That's the underlying component, right? Because as the age of machines begins to evolve and begin to grow, again, I think we're all asking the tough questions. What is our role in it? Where do we sit in the chaos? Here's some of the companies that we've had an opportunity to work with to kind of give you a context of people that I'm wrestling with each and every day, trying to help them see around the corner and how do they strategize and make decisions in a time such as this. So this is the work that we do. Here's the question that I want to lead with though. Are we fearing the wrong thing? How many of you actually had fear of AI? Now be honest with me, this is a safe place, I think. How many of you, be honest, how many of you actually had fear about AI? Raise your hand. So you guys are all brave. Clap it up for that. You know what I'm saying? Usually more people raise their hand. Maybe the fear is starting to dissipate. Maybe it's starting to go down, right? But there is a looming fear around AI, and I won't stay in this place too long, but I want to help you guys understand where this fear comes from. So you can like have that little self-check for the ones who raise your hands was like, put my hands up, right? Where this fear comes from, you got to think since 1927, 1927, long time ago, real long time ago, well before me, right? There were movies being created that showed the relationship between man and AI. AI as an adversary coming to get you, right? In some senses, it was the AI robot that you bring into your household and take your man. I've seen that one. Then there's the Terminator, right? The flesh burned off with the red eyes. Remember that? Like we've seen many, many instances where AI has come to get us. I think it's deeper than that. We talk about AI as it in itself is the danger. AI. Can I tell you a quick story? This is interesting. 1985, I think it's like 1985. I'm in school, and you know how in the course of a day, 'cause back in the day when it was like the news and newspapers and all that kind of stuff, that's kind of where we got our information from. There was no internet. Yeah, there was a time where there wasn't no internet. That didn't come until a little bit later. I can remember we were sitting in class and there was like the little over like the intercom, and they were like telling us to take a break because somebody had taken a car and drove it into a crowd of people and killed people. Think about that for a second. How many of you actually drive cars? Raise your hand. Most of you drive cars, and some of y'all taking Lyfts and Ubers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. No, keep your hand up. I want to see. I want to make sure. So we all are driving weapons. Is that what we're saying? You see where I'm going with this? Back to my question, are we fearing the wrong things? See, but the most dangerous risk is not about bad code, it's unexamined leadership. So let's get down to the crux of it. Every line of code, every algorithm, every system, it all reflects the decisions of leaders, people, human beings, flesh, us, right? This is what we war with. And if those decisions are reactive, unreflective, or misaligned with human values, then no technology in the world can save us. So the truth is this, as humiliating as it may be, and as humble as it may make us, we're not really afraid of the machines, are we? We're afraid of each other and what we're capable of. And that's the scary part, right? This keynote is not about AI hype. I'm not going to talk about no tools and no whiz bang things that you can do with PT, I'm not concerned with that. What I am concerned about is leadership. How many of you can see yourself to be leaders? I want to make sure I'm in front of the right crowd. Okay, bet. So we good. So I'm talking about us. In the age of AI, the most powerful technology is not machine learning, it is self-reflection, right? And this comes in a bunch of different forms. I'm not here to educate or teach, right? We just make you aware. We just got big studies back from MIT that it says that AI is dropping the cognitive capabilities of human beings. Is that true? How many of you actually use AI? Raise your hand. You augment your leadership, you augment the things that you do each and every day. Are all we keep your hands up because I would assume that y'all becoming dummies. Is that true? Oh, y'all think it's funny, you know. The report says that 95% of you are becoming dumber. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I don't buy it narrative. I come off this stage because it feels weird. Man, I like to get down with the people. Just broke an ankle. No, I'm just kidding. The most powerful technique is not the machine learning, it's self-reflection. Us being able to dial into ourselves and ask ourselves questions. Even when you're using AI, right, and you're prompting away, you might be sending that email out or doing whatever it is you're doing, speeding up your processes, add efficiency to your life. That's what you're doing. Do you ever stop and say, okay, whew, that was pretty dope. It was going to take me 2 days, took me like 5 minutes. I'm good, right? Well, cognitive strength did I give the machine that I could have done on my own, but for what, right? I was talking earlier to some of the gentlemen, right? We were just sitting there having a little powwow, and there's a moment now where we actually have magnificent machines. Magnificent machines. Before, if you think about what we used before as crude machines, how many of you are designers? Raise your hand. Like you mess around with like Photoshop, you get busy. Designers, writers, right? Our tools have evolved in time, haven't they? If you've ever used Photoshop, you're dealing with pixels. Right? The pen tool, eyes bloody. You just pulling pixels, making things work. Right? Layers upon layers. Crude tools. Elegant in their time, but changing. Because now we literally can prompt things into existence, can't we? What is the one that's out now? Crazy Banana, the banana thing. What is it called? Banana. They say, oh my God, that's the Photoshop. Nano Banana. Who comes up with these names? Nano Banana. Like a little itty bitty banana. Y'all laughing, but it's real. Nano Banana. There was no oversight with that one. Okay. Nano Banana. But before, if you think about Photoshop, as elegant as it was, a crude tool, now we have the ability to manifest things just through the prompt, right? Prompt things into existence. And even in that, we have to ask ourselves, why do we do the things that we do? These are the big questions. The age of AI demands a new leadership OS. This is what you mean by leadership OS. How many of you update your phones on a regular basis? Raise your hand. Like you update, like it says there's an update. You ain't running like some stuff from like 3 years ago, are you? You're not? Okay, bad. When was the last time you updated your leadership OS? Yeah, somebody's like, look, I'm looking at people's eyes, they're like, what is that? Right? When was the last time you analyze your leadership and say, am I still leading in the ways that we were leading 10 years ago? Where things were predictable. For an industrial economy, efficiency, scale, and control. But AI is different, isn't it? It's accelerating things. So even as leaders, we have to be willing to accelerate. Just released a book called Capacity 2.0. Pretty cool work. You can go get it on Apple Books. But there's 8 capacities that I believe that all leaders need to start thinking about as we start to move into the age of AI. Because when you start thinking that this thing actually starts within you and not within some machine, actually do the work of evolving to a time when we'll probably do some of our greatest and most magnificent work. This coexistence or collaboration, man and machine, right? Interesting new ideas, novel new ideas coming to the forefront. Why? Because machines do something that we don't do really well. We do it, but just not at the same speed and the same clip, right? Compute and synthesize. How many of y'all afraid of your MacBooks? How many of y'all got MacBooks and computers? Raise your hand. How many of y'all afraid of them? That was a trick question. You know what I'm saying? My man was like, no, I'm not afraid of that machine. Good. Because here's the thing. As these machines continue to advance, things get faster and faster, right? We have to, again, upgrade our own internal operating systems to keep up, have the capacity to hold what's coming. Yeah? Let's keep working through this. AI is not just another tool, it's an amplifier. It multiplies, it magnifies biases, it accelerates outcomes, and that means quality of leadership today determines the quality of the future at exponential speed. How many of you actually felt the tension of the speed? Like things are just going faster than. How many of y'all actually feel that? Yeah, I'm seeing some head shake. Yeah, it's a little bit of tension out there, isn't it? And you're asking yourself, what kind of rigor do I need as a leader to keep up? If you're not asking those questions, you're not asking yourself the right stuff, right? You got to dial inward. I always say this: humanness, as we move forward, is a competitive advantage, right? We've not lost dominion at all. In fact, we're just being called to a different place where we sit in the ecosystem of things and the ecosystems of thought and intelligence. And if we believe ourselves to be the original prompt, I happen to believe, I'm gonna just throw that out there unapologetically, and I believe I am the original prompt. Well, right on. I got me one thumbs up. You know, some people are like, where is he going with this? He's about to get DX. But in the scriptures that I read, it says, he said, let there be light, and there was light. The original prompt. Now today we're prompting things into existence. Right? We're the closest to our divinity that we've ever been before. Our role has not changed. And if any of you have ever confused yourself with being the tool, you've done the wrong thing. How many of you actually call Photoshop? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm glad ain't none of y'all calling yourself Photoshop. So why do we have fear of another tool, another machine at all? We still command it. Yes? Keep chicken. The question is not, can we adopt AI? The real question is, can we lead responsibly in an age where our choices are amplified? Scale. Scale of human intelligence. Right? Huge responsibility. Keep going. Because it isn't a checklist, it's a compliance. Responsibility is the real innovation because it transforms leadership from reaction to reflection, from chasing hype to designing trust. Think about that. Another stat came out that about 95% keep popping up. Y'all, I don't know why everything 95%. Maybe they don't want 100. I don't know. 95% everywhere. Most AI initiatives and organizations are failing. Failing. As cool and as hypnotic and awesome as all the AI stuff is, most organizations are failing in their initiatives. At the Bureau of Creative Intelligence, we began to ask the question, why? So let me paint a picture for you. You got Susan. Susan is sitting in the back. She's super dope on spreadsheets. When I say she's super dope, at every company picnic, she gets that little gold trophy that says she is the dopest on spreadsheets. Y'all think it's funny, but y'all know Susan, she back there. Every time you need a spreadsheet, you go back to Susan. She run that formula. Then all of a sudden, leadership says we're going to adopt AI. Susan is not afraid of AI. She's afraid of the loss of identity and the loss of her little gold trophy. So as leaders, we have to create safe spaces. Let's talk about the mirror framework. The mirror framework is a map for responsible leadership. At the Bureau of Creative Intelligence, we designed a framework called Mirror because we believe every leader needs a way to look at themselves before they look at the machine. Before you begin to integrate new technologies into your organization, look at your team, look at your organization, reflect inward first. No, this is not sexy, it's not whiz bang, it ain't the newest flashy thing, and there is no dashboard. But what it creates is the policies and the governance that you need to move efficiently as you begin to move AI into your organizations. What other time have we had technologies that we didn't have policies and governance? How many of you are actually integrating AI into your organization today, but you have a sound policy and governance plan that I can go look at and my team can look at? Raise your hand. One. That's negligent at best. They're like, he's trying to convict us. I am. If you're thinking about rolling out technology that has this ability to displace Nancy on her spreadsheet, I would think that you want to create policies and governance that she can read and say, if I'm being displaced, I'm being upskilled too. You'll have a greater success with your initiatives because there won't be resistance. Here's the 5-phase methodology. We'll trek through this. It helps you integrate AI ethically, strategically, and sustainably. Mindful integration, responsible practice, reflective practice, organizational reasoning, resilience building. Let's go into the first one, mindful integration. What is that, Vince? Again, I'm going to give you this in clip notes. There's a guy in the room, raise your hand, Elliot. That guy, he's probably one of the only integrators in the city that can help you. So we'll give this guy a shout out. Can y'all clap it up for Elliot? He's dope. Anchor AI to your mission values before you ever write a line of code. Make sure you understand what those are, right? What are our values? What do we care about? Do we care about Nancy over there on them spreadsheets, right? Because as capitalists and people are starting business, we look at the bottom line. How do we make more money? If we can get rid of Nancy, that makes more money, right? Don't got to have Nancy. What does that do to Nancy's family and the whole ecosystem of the company? Responsible practice, build ethical guardrails, transparency, fairness, and accountability. Reflective practices, create feedback loops, pause, learn, and adapt. Organizational reasoning, align diverse voices, priorities, and perspectives into one strategy. Resilience building, anticipate change, design for uncertainty, future-proof your decisions. Mirror is not about slowing down, it's about ensuring that acceleration is worth it. It's not just to do just because we can. It's to do because it makes sense. Right? This is no different than any other technology that we faced before. Responsibility as capacity building. Here's the paradox. Most leaders see responsibility as a constraint, as a thing that slows innovation down, but the opposite is true, I would beg to say. Responsibility is what unlocks capacity. When you take responsibility, your people understand that they can trust you. So in the age of displacement, they won't be displaced. Make sense? Let's keep trekking. It expands, it amplifies, it preserves. That's what responsibility, it expands capacity, it amplifies the trust, and it preserves what makes us all human. We have to remember that. I think my big message for you here is in the age of machines, as AI begins to move forward, lean into your humanness. Don't forget, right? We're all walking around in our meat lockers doing our thing. We have to make sure that the way that we integrate these technologies is equitable and makes sense. It's fair. So let me leave you with this thought. 'Cause I think my man, he said, you're going to have to get off my mic in a minute. Yeah, y'all look at him. I'm just kidding. He's like, don't look at me. No, it's good stuff. We're almost through. Real innovation isn't in the machine. It is in the leader who has the courage to look in the mirror. When you awake and look in the mirror, you ask yourself, will my decisions show responsibility or will they show risk? Because in the age of AI, leadership is no longer about what you build, it's about what you choose to reflect. Does this make sense? Responsibility is the real innovation, and it's how we make sure technology serves humanity, never the other way around. Let me say this one more time. We might have to all say it together. I'm just kidding. Like, he bet. Responsibility is the real innovation, and it's how we make sure technology serves humanity and not the other way around. Make sense? Thanks. Yeah, that's where y'all clap. Good stuff. If you guys need more information, reach out to Elliot Struck. Right here. My name is Vincent Hunt. I'm from the Bureau of Creative Intelligence. Thank you for giving me some of your time. You can't get it back. I promise you. There is no recycling on your time. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you and good luck on your venture. I'm not going to put this back together. I'm just kidding. See if we can work it.
Thanks, Vincent. That was really an inspiring presentation. Thank you so much for that. Um, Second round of applause for Vincent. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jill Atherton with the Flywheel Foundation. We're thrilled that you're here today. The Flywheel Foundation was put this event on, and we could not do this without all the supporters that we have in the room today. And we're here to celebrate entrepreneurship and collaboration. And we have a tremendous number of volunteers in the audience who have spent their time not only as panelists, but as people who produced the event. And I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to all of those folks who have helped us put this together, as well as our sponsors, without whom we could not put this on. The Flywheel Foundation depends upon support from events like this, and so we are very grateful for all of the folks who have supported our event, and you can see them all listed here, and I hope you'll take a minute just to take a look at the folks who have really stepped up to the plate. As you may know, we operate co-working innovation centers across North and South Carolina, and in each location, we strive to build entrepreneurship programming, and the foundation brings our mission of support for inclusive access to entrepreneurial journeys. Whether Main Street, scalable, investable, we do this through a lot of different events, conferences like this, which we put on once a year, thank goodness, and then through lots of other programs throughout the year, with our regional curriculum and serving as the connective tissue of many communities. And we do this in partnership with a lot of different organizations, educational institutions, local government, and producing an event like this is challenging, and we've had so much support, so we're very thankful for that. I'm here today to tell you a little bit more about our Health Equity Innovation Challenge event. You may have met some of our participants from this year's cohort. They are here with us today, and they're going to be presenting for you. And we have a tremendous amount of support. As I mentioned, Atrium Health is our title sponsor, not only for the Health Equity Innovation Challenge, but for this program today. And I would like to invite Asha Rodriguez to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Oh, come on. It's Friday. You just listened to Vincent. How are you? Good morning. So first, I just want to say welcome and I know you're on day 2. I hope you are soaking all of this in. I want to thank the Flywheel Foundation for the amazing opportunity we have to partner with them in our Health Equity Innovation Challenge. Vincent spoke to us a few amazing things this morning. He talked about responsibility, but the other thing that really struck me was his comment around humanness. I lead a hospital in Concord, North Carolina for Atrium Health. But what I really do every single day is serve a community of people who come in with a tremendous amount of needs, both physical, emotional, you name it. And I think over the last 5 years, what we've seen more is a tremendous divide between the haves and have-nots. COVID taught us a really big lesson, which is if you have a problem, it will only amplify. The Health Equity Innovation Challenge for us has given us an opportunity to deliver these problems we have into the hands of people just like you, who then take the time to help us close those gaps. My team has to care for our patients every single day using their medical expertise. And what you do is do the type of cognitive rumination that is necessary for us to solve tremendous challenges across not just Cabarrus County, but also across the country. And as a result, there have been some amazing innovations that have happened with AI, included that have rapidly expedited problem solving for the people who are most vulnerable that we serve. So again, I just want to welcome you guys here. The sky is the limit. We're doing what we love. I'm sure that you all are out there looking to solve the next big thing, but I want you to keep the faith because we need you now more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Asha. We really appreciate all of your support and for being here with us today. So going to talk a little bit about the impact of the Health Equity Innovation Challenge. This is our third year. We've had 15 companies who have participated up to this point, and we are hopeful that we will be able to continue the program in the future. So we're excited today about not only the impact this program has had in the Cabarrus County region, across the state of North Carolina, and across the southeastern United States. We are very blessed to have had such a wonderful group of cohort folks. This is the end of the cohort for them. Their last presentation and the last check that they get from us. So we hope to continue that journey with them. They will have 18 months of incubation past this point. We're really proud of the progress that they have made this year. And so we're going to give them an opportunity to come up and give you a 7-minute overview of their individual businesses. And also I wanted to shout out to the Eli Lilly Foundation, who supports the funding that we're able to offer to each of the cohort participants. They've supported us for the last 3 years, and we're very grateful for their support as well for this program. So I am going to click through to our first presenter. Whoops. Okay. Alexandra Stein is going to come up and talk to you a little bit about Keep Good.
They say the most successful CEOs are over 6 feet tall. Can you hear me? Can you see me? No, use the mic. Lovely. And can I move this? I can't hold it. I can't hold the mic. It's like walking and chewing gum. All right, you can hear me. And you can see me. And have you started my 7 minutes already? Okay. Hello, I'm Alexandra. I'm the founder of We are solving one of the most costly system inefficiencies, and we're building the infrastructure to turn food excess into access. Every year in the US, over 160 billion pounds of perfectly good food gets wasted. That's $400 billion in value lost, taking up more than a quarter of our landfills. Scraps, not your leftovers. Pallets of farm fresh foods. It's nobody's fault. It's logistics. Food spoils. And our systems lack the incentives to capture and redirect abundance. The solution is deceptively simple. Freeze drying. It's a NASA-approved preservation technology. It retains 97% of food's nutrients, creating meals and snacks that are shelf-stable for over 20 years. Lightweight enough to go into space, ready in minutes. No fridge, no stove necessary. It's not only possible, it's profitable to save our food before it spoils and redirect it at scale. B2C pioneers, too good to go, imperfect foods, tapped into consumers who are excited to rescue fresh surplus. Anybody ever gotten a good deal on too good to go? It's super addicting, right? Yeah. On the nonprofit side, FarmLink Project, they move truckloads of fresh fruits and vegetables powered by donations of funding, food, and labor. Food rescue nonprofits are the gateway to surplus. They're already moving mass volumes of food through sourcing, distribution, and funding networks. Great. They're doing a fantastic job of it. Keep good adds to what's still missing. Logistics at scale. So our partners set aside their fresh surplus. Keep good processes, fee for service, and meals and snacks. They're both our initial supply and demand.
On money. And all of this is all in one platform with the EHR at the back end. So now Medicaid can get on our schedule an appointment, start getting care in less than 48 hours. This is how we stack against the company. Some of these folks, but what you may know is they don't serve Medicaid clients. We do. And because we serve this demographic, we created a practice management solution that allows the clinicians to use our proprietary models to be able to take notes and save time. This market is huge, with over 66 million people in the US alone needing mental health services. We're specifically targeting over 30 million people who are on Medicaid and Medicare who are currently underserved. And right now, we're in the Carolinas with over 2 million people who need care. In less than 25 months, we have onboarded, that number is wrong, over 168 therapists and processed over $1.5 million in GMV, generating over $767,000 in revenue. Something's wrong with this slide. And the unit economics of how that works is for every single therapist that onboards on our platform, they generate over $54,000 a year. With our take rate being 45%, we earn $24,000 for every therapist. This is the flywheel that gets everything spinning. Oh, these slides are not correct. For every Medicaid customer that we onboard, that customer would lifetime value over $1,500 on the platform, and we spend $35 to acquire that customer. But what's more interesting is for every therapist we onboard on our platform, they get so much value that they bring in on average six clients, and this could be Medicaid clients or their private paying clients, those with Aetna and Blue Cross, on our platform, just because we make it so easy for them to be able to get their time back and see their clients. And this is the impact that we've had over the last 25 months. That should be 15,000 therapy sessions that have gone out. We've helped close to 1,600 Medicaid clients find care. These are people that could not find a therapist before, and now they're getting care. Over 168 licensed therapists. And what is more amazing is we have a 91% retention rate with our therapists. That is unheard of in the industry right now. And this is the all-star team that makes this possible. I'm a data scientist. My co-founder is a licensed clinical mental health counselor that's been serving in the community, Medicaid clients, for over a decade. We've built something that most people won't, a way for underserved communities to be able to get the care they desperately need. If this sounds interesting, I'd like to talk to you after this. Thank you so much.
All right. I guess I should be expecting some surprise slides up here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just being a little shady. Hit the green button. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. There are over 500,000 people experiencing homelessness on any given night in the United States. And we know since the pandemic, this number has greatly risen. Without ID, the unhoused cannot get access to government benefits, housing opportunities, and so much more. This is truly an epidemic of lack. My name is India Jha, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mini City, and it is my last call. to address this epidemic. Now, many say it's a compassionate tech hub that streamlines the admin process for getting legal forms of ID and life critical benefits for unhoused citizens in the cities that serve them. So, we found during the pandemic that it starts with ID. But to really ensure someone is thriving in a city and not just barely surviving, you have to connect them to the housing vouchers and so much more. So many cities currently partner with and been supported and backed by some frontline organizations. I won't name them all, but just to name a few, we've partnered with Comcast, Equifax, we've been backed by Google and Techstars. And so in this ecosystem, we have what we call CBOs. Now, those are community-based orgs that focus on those that have ID, leaving those without ID with their needs unmet. And this isn't because they're cruel or they don't care. It's just because they're trying to be efficient. One of our first pilot partners, the Salvation Army, they say we've been around for centuries. And to this day, lack of ID is still one of our largest pain points. We also partner directly with corporations and cities that want to reach a vulnerable population. They want to extend their federal benefits and subsidies that they offer at a municipal level, but they just aren't where those populations are. The VP of Startup Engagement from Comcast stated, "Hey, we've been around, we've been doing this work, we want to extend our benefits, but we are unaware of any tool like MiniCity that can offer us the insights to reach the largest amount of citizens in need." So I'm happy to announce we're in over 20 locations across Georgia. We've trained and empowered a little over 100 caseworkers with our software solution. I'm really proud to state that we've helped thousands of citizens that are experiencing homelessness. To date, we've raised over 700K, mostly in non-dilutive grants and funding, and we're really excited to expand to the Piedmont region. So I'm going to use the city of Atlanta as a case study. Hopefully, we have a city from North Carolina up here soon. And last year, we were contracted as the documents readiness provider for the city. Under this $250,000 contract, we were tasked with helping 320 households become doc ready. We actually were able to go twofold over. That's nearly 600 households. And so for every one dollar that the city spent with us, they were able to allocate $44 elsewhere. We were also able to unlock 200K in government benefits for citizens in needs that we assisted during that time. So I'm happy to announce that we actually renewed our contract. The city is working with us again on a permanent, supportive, and rapid rehousing project. Thank you. Yay. And so with this, we thank you so much. With this, we are right on goal and on target to hit 750K in revenue by 2026. So here's a snapshot of our software. In about 5 to 15 minutes, a citizen can apply for government assistance, any benefits they need, along with their caseworker. We're HIPAA compliant. We follow NIST standards. We feed data into our homeless information system. We're tailored to the homeless population, and we capture what we call rare data. Now, that's data that's very difficult to obtain, but it's valuable for cities and policymakers to have. And we do this all while getting vital records. Here's our business model. We charge a few $100s a month to those community-based organizations based on their size to access the software. And then we have separate fees for documents and resources and whatnot. We also charge for our training. But for that enterprise level partnership, we do a custom integration for the city or those partners like Comcast. Now that ranges from 20K to $250,000 annually. And so this is a $16 billion market that's being set aside to deal with addressing the needs of the homeless, digital tools for the needy. And many cities just targeting 1% of this market. And we have a focus on rare data. Again, that data that's so difficult to obtain but valuable to have. So we're partnered with the city of Atlanta through Flywheel and this health equity program. We're targeting Charlotte, other cities in the Southeast. I'm really thankful to be backed by these wonderful groups, and we want to potentially partner with Salvation Army, the Health Alliance, and more. So if you guys know any of these groups, please come see me. This is our phenomenal team that's bringing it all together. We're PhD holders, patent holders, innovators. We have global problem solvers. My co-founder is my brother. He's a problem solver on a global scale. Woohoo! We're really a really diverse team. But the one thing that holds us all together is the commitment and dedication to shed light on this hidden epidemic of homelessness. And I know with your support and help, we can do just that. Thank you.
Green is forward, red is back.
Good morning. My name is Irvin Sloan. I'm the co-founder and chief executive officer of Navigating Gray. So January 2023, I took a step away from corporate America as where I led the social impact strategy for Duke Energy. I realized that I needed to spend some time with my oldest daughter, who was 16 at the time. She was getting ready to go off to college, and I wanted to make sure I made an impact on the people closest to me. One of the challenges we had at Duke Energy in leading social impact strategy was we're trying to understand how we can integrate it as part of our business. Anyone who's been in this space understand social impact, if it's not part of your business, it's a nice to have. It's not a must have. So what we were really trying to understand is how do we create socio-economic impact? The way you traditionally do that is you have your business structure and you go out to communities and you try to ask community about the impact of the programs that you are engaging with. One of the fundamental problems is that, quite frankly, a lot of community engagement meetings, you get the same 20 people over and over again. It's very hard to define impact when you get a limited data set. And more importantly, our legal attorneys would always say, hey, be careful what you say. Don't publish that report that way. Dumb that down a little bit. Let's make sure we're going to cover ourselves because it's a risk to put out information that's untrue. So we're trying to understand specifically how our programs, our initiatives, our projects were actually creating impact in those communities. Unfortunately, there was not a business process or a technology to integrate what we were doing on the inside with what was going on the outside. Now, quite frankly, a lot of organizations do very similar things, but they would use nonprofits, and nonprofits would in essentially magnitude, multiply their impact. Well, the challenge with that is I've never seen a negative impact report. All impact, everyone's creating impact. We know for a fact that cannot be true. And so therefore, we at Navigating Gray developed a product that essentially integrates the business piece of your business, which is the economic functions, with the social pieces. How we do that? It actually an invention from my youngest daughter, right? She said, Dad, why don't we let the community define the impact? We actually went out in the community with a set of glasses looked just like this. And we went out there and recorded people's conversations and recorded people's input on different programs that the city was having. Everyone claimed to be creating all this impact. However, the people on the ground had a different point of view. Again, when you're the one making when you're the one defining the story, you can make a story whatever you want, but the people on the ground, they live it. So we actually did a pilot recently with the city of Charlotte. The city of Charlotte has almost 1 million residents. They have over 70,000 small businesses, and they did a small business assessment. That assessment essentially wanted to quantify the various programs that the city was conducting and understand where they actually creating impact, where are they beneficial to the community. So what did they do? Traditionally, they did a traditional method. They hired a consultant. The consultant sent out surveys. So the city provided them with a nice long email list of all the different, people who had come to their events. And again, I always tell people this the same way. The majority of the population will never come to those events. 99.9% of the population never go to those community meetings. They never show up to those public hearings. They're at home because they have other stuff to do. So quite frankly, the data set that they were starting with was a little bit jaded. And quite frankly, the information that the consultant got was very much kind of from the white collar workforce, the people who use emails. So they hired us. In less than 3 weeks, we had 1,300 responses, not just from the surveys, but also the contextual data. And I'll speak a little bit more on the contextual pieces because I always say data without context is very dangerous. So our platform essentially does twofold. We have a mobile app that we deploy in communities. There's an incentive model that allows for people to get a little bit of compensation for their work. They're providing input, they're providing data. That data comes in the platform, and on the back end side, we use AI and various tools to analyze the qualitative insights, and we compare it to the quantitative, the theory that we in the inside, two things we thought were going to create impact. We're actually, comparing those two and looking at the impact as a net change. It's not the single thing that you do, not the input, it's the outcome. So you must monitor it over time to see the impact. So our system essentially does that. We collect insights from the ground, we bring them back up to the cloud, and we run analytics and how it makes sense for your business. A little bit about my team. I talked a little bit about my precious daughter, who's now 18. She's a freshman at Howard University, as well as my other two co-founders. Actually, we were senior executive at Duke Energy. We have a very senior team, full time from day one. Right? We all believed in this mission. We all saw the challenge that nonprofits had. And one of the big challenges nonprofits are having today is justifying and quantifying the impact they have. It's becoming more and more of an issue because AI and Chat GPT. Every impact report looks phenomenal. They can't all be equal. Everyone's not creating the same amount of impact. But if you let the community define it at scale, which is the problem that we solved, you really will come down to the nitty gritty of where that impact resides. It's not equitable. One great example of equity, how we designed equity in our product was we actually had a homeless guy download our product. He made $1,500 in that 3-week span on that project with the city of Charlotte. He actually went out and talked to people. People engaged with them. They were more than glad to engage with them, give him a little bit of a little bit of a job per se. And so in doing so, we developed equity into our product. And we think that's a very important core strength of ours. A little bit about our customers and pilots. We came from the energy industry, so naturally we have plenty of energy companies who are specifically trying to understand how to get projects through the pipeline, and there's always some type of public pushback. And so we give them the insights to make sure that their projects go through smoothly. Organizations like Mental Health America, who's trying to understand mental health specifically in the Hispanic population today, is a pending pandemic. The present political climate is causing immense amounts of stress on the system. There will be most likely a significant issue in the next 3 to 4 years, and specifically on the Hispanic population. Market size, we are a hybrid between a business operations and a social enterprise. So our competitors are a little bit of Salesforce, is a little bit of Google Drive. Plus we got a little bit of Facebook in there, right? We're trying to integrate those two pieces into your business. So therefore, we don't have a direct competitor, but we have many competitors within our spread. A little bit of our business. Our average client, the revenue per month is almost $4,000 a month per client. We feel this is an emerging market. We're looking for a partner to help us scale. We're in 19 states today. I believe we'll be in 30 by the end of this year. We are growing at an amazing clip. So I'm looking for, again, my ask today is just please reach out to me if you're interested in how to scale and operation impact across your organization. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Let's give it up for the HEIC winners for this year. Great job, y'all. Look, amazing group of folks. I've learned so much. I'm super excited to move into the next phase of this thing, which is kind of like the incubator thing, where we really touch ground inside the organization and figure out how to make the most impact possible. All right, quick question. How many of you are women? How many of you have children? How many of you have elderly parents? Okay, you all win. Those groups of people are what we call vulnerable populations in transportation. That group of individuals requires a significantly higher level of trust in every transportation event they take part in. Guys like us, getting in a standard ride share, no problem. The car might be smelly, driver's playing some weird stuff. We're typically on our phones, we're in and out. But a woman, a child, an elderly person actually needs a trustworthy driver. And in today's world, that is a complete crapshoot. You have no idea what you're getting when you get into one of these other platforms. None. Therein lies the problem, and that is what the foundation of Wave is. Wave is a big rideshare delivery platform for high value sectors that require more trust and accountability and transaction completion guarantees. Key point, does the, does the patient get from their house to their appointment? Yes or no? Can the driver spend a little bit more time to make sure that that transportation event gets done? There's no guarantee on the other platforms, and that's where Wave is. So my name is DeAndre Lewis. I'm the founder of Wave. And, let's talk about scaling trust in transport. The problems are huge, and many of you have probably experienced them, especially those with elderly parents. A rural dialysis patient sits around and misses their doctor's appointment because their Uber or their Lyft or whatever canceled on them. A blind veteran misses their appointment completely because they were dropped off, but they were dropped off 150 yards away from the real appointment location. It's still a missed appointment. A patient ride's last minute cancellation disrupts a critical cancer treatment. I mean, and sometimes people have to wait weeks, months for another appointment. These are situations where the transportation event must get done. It has to get done. And currently, hospital systems, school systems, nonprofits, and other organizations are struggling to find partners that can guarantee that transaction. That's what Wave focuses on. I've talked about the problem. Very low accountability from some of these platforms, unpredictable surge pricing. The business can't model. They can't model. They can't forecast, right? They don't know what they're getting on the driver quality side. And now step out into rural communities, the problem amplifies. Because if they miss one event, it's over. They miss one bus, it's over, right? These are some of the challenges that have been communicated to us. But we were already pretty well aware of many of these things, but these are global challenges. These are not things that we're just seeing right here with Atrium or Novant or any of these other healthcare systems. These are global problems that literally touch humanity. The Wave solution, our aim is to become like the Oracle of mobility. Think about transportation as infrastructure, right? How do we uniquely address the problem? One, our drivers are super high certified. We spend a lot more time vetting our drivers because not everybody deserves to drive anything, right? We got to kind of dial things back a little bit. Not everyone deserves to drive. Number two, booking and transport are fully integrated into the ecosystem. That means an executive's ride to the airport at 2 o'clock is going to cost the exact same amount as it does at 9 o'clock, right? Seems to make sense. Surge free. We're all about pushing up the level of trust in these transportation events and aligning with what the business actually needs. The numbers show we're cooking, and we're cooking in a disciplined manner, right? We believe, of course, we believe, we think we're like Meta on wheels, honestly, because every human being in here needs to move around at some point. They must touch ground, and there's different levels of safety and trust required in all those events. Numbers are great. Over the past 2.5 years or so, 8 million plus in revenue. This year, we land a couple of contracts that we have coming. We could be 10 million plus, and that's constrained. We've been very disciplined about how we do things, and our biggest problem right now is saying no. Some of our amazing customers, they're riding the wave, and they're not riding for free, right? We're different from all the other platforms in many different ways. This chart kind of shows some of it, but we are expanding. We have a very consultative approach, and we're all about solving at the table logistics and transportation problems. Our team is awesome. Myself, tremendous amount of experience in the space. Graduated from Duke Comp Sci, go Duke. Um, the rest of my staff phenomenal in healthcare as well as the gig economy. The ask, this is one of our asks, but there's a lot of other things here. Really, it's about social capital, right? It's bringing more brains to the table to solve these big problems. We're not going to have any problem because these problems are so massive and nobody's really trying to take care of them at scale. Channel breakdown is pretty clear here. Non-emergency medical transport, insurance, standard ride booking, driver certification revenue. Drivers are paying us to come onto our platform now because they're being so disenfranchised by the other platforms. They're stealing money. They're not even treating them like human beings. They're treating them like bits in an algorithmic system that is skimming for profit. It's wrong. It's inhumane. And it's going to die eventually. We don't know when. Okay, that's it. Here are our core areas here. Super excited to be involved. We've got 5 main use cases that are advancing and accelerating inside Atrium and a few of the others. And we're just super excited to be here. Join me in what we believe is a potentially $500 billion to $1 trillion opportunity globally. This is not just hospitals, y'all. This is people. Moving people, trustworthy drivers, and scaling trust. We must scale trust in transport. Otherwise, people can't even get to their doctor's appointments, right? So that's it. I don't have much more to say. A couple more just hidden slides, but can I drop the mic?
Clickers on the podium.
All right, let's thank all of our HEIC companies again. Big round of applause for that. Also, thank you to Jill Atherton, all she does for Flywheel and all of our ecosystems businesses here in North Carolina. And so let's give Jill Atherton a big round of applause as well. All right, this is why we are here. So we're going to announce the businesses for the title round. Let's go ahead and give them a big applause to get this ready going. Let's get it going. First, we also like to thank all of our the investors that are here today that will be given that stuff. We want to make sure that our prizes that we're doing from Site Source is a $50,000 of software development services. Venture South will have a meeting with your general partners, and with a Whisper Fund, we'll also be doing for general partners as well. Again, this year there will be one single grand prize for the winner of the title round. So when I read off the companies in this round, will the founders make their way backstage over here to the right, and we'll get ready for everyone to be prepared to pitch, okay? All right, we're here to announce the title round from yesterday's pitch stages. Salus, Transforming Lives. Scale Social. Score Pharma. Mimi Tesafi Medical Solutions. Charlie Quinn, presented by Brennan Barber. Congratulations once again to these businesses. We'll also format the title round with a 5-minute time pitch, and then we will also have 3 minutes of Q&A from the investor panel. Right now, before we get started, I'd like to introduce the investor panel. We'll go ahead and do that. So if you could make your way to the stage, that would be fantastic. So Ali Tabaz of SiteSource, Brian Dinstead of TechCXO, Stan Parker from Winston Starts, Daniel Cooley, co-founders Capital, Keith Shields, Designly, and Tyler Sincold, the Startup Verse. If y'all could make your way up, please. Big round of applause. Again, thanks for all the companies that exhibited yesterday. You all did a wonderful job. Give yourselves a big round of applause for being here at Converge South. All right, investors, make sure you gather your scorecards. Make sure all that's ready to go for each company. All right, we'll go ahead and start with the first pitch to be presented by Brad Kalin of Salus Transforming Lives.
Morning. I'm actually impersonating my partner. I'm Jean-Pierre Lejac of Salus, the CTO, but co-founder. I'd like you to think about your neighborhood and your neighbors that are suffering and having some difficulty. It could be a person that's living under an underpass, or it could be a child that was abandoned at the airport, or it could be a brother-in-law that's suffering from some type of addiction. Salus is trying to solve that problem. And we're doing that by enabling the frontline workers solving these problems. These are the caseworkers and social workers in the US that directly interact with people in need, determining what services they provide, coordinating all the care providers, and then doing the reporting to help provide additional funding for their organization. However, the caseworkers in the US are facing some very significant challenges. Kind of incredibly, we talked a lot about AI. A lot of the caseworkers are still using spreadsheets and paper and pencil. On top of that, especially with the changes in the US recently, their caseloads are enormous. Uh, all of these compound to sometimes tragic outcomes where there is a misintervention. An addict missed going to see their doctor and relapse, things like that. So what Salus is doing is bringing a modern case management framework that's affordable, easy to use, easy to deploy for organizations, that makes the caseworkers and the social workers, the people on the front line bringing the services to the people, um, be more effective, have better outcomes, and critically have excellent reporting to make the case for additional funding. We're unique in a lot of different ways. And the first one is we're a startup with a 10-year history. We developed a platform in partnership with UNICEF. It's now used across the world by about 20,000 active daily users of the platform. Um, we think we've helped over 3 million children and their families during that time period. And these are very, very challenging situations. So we were doing contact tracing during the Ebola outbreak. We were on the ground, boots on the ground during the Syrian civil war, helping the refugees there. And now we are around Ukraine trying to help reunite the children stolen by the Russians with their Ukrainian parents. There's several other unique things about Salus. We are now partnering. We have an official public-private partnership where we're bringing this platform to the US domestic market to address the same types of social welfare situations. Next unique thing is we're based on the digital public good. The core of the platform is available to anyone in the US. It's It's like a utility. It's like Linux fork that everyone is using who has an Android system. The software doesn't matter. It's being able to do the outreach to the people. Now we can layer our own IT on top of it, especially around AI. Our go-to-market strategy is focused on the mid-tier. The market is much larger than most people understand, and unfortunately growing. The need is there, and it's going to be growing over the next year. We're specifically targeting the 20 to 300, the organizations that have about 20 to 300 case workers on site. Our traction now, we did $1 million in revenue our first year. In spite of the headwinds in this field, we're going to exceed that this year. Our, we've been very successful raising getting new clients. We have about a dozen U.S. and Canadian-based clients. We just signed the Client Humanity this week, which we're very happy about. We're doing a $1 million raise, a price equity round, $7 million post money. We've raised 500K of that already. Got a very experienced staff. My partner and I are 4X partners startup. Our team has been with us since the inception. Okay. Thank you very much.
I'll kick off with the first one. Great job. Could you talk a little bit more about your partnership with UNICEF? Were they a development partner? Are they an equity partner in this? Can you just share?
So first of all, I should say this is completely unique. We've never done a partnership with a for-profit company before. It is not an equity position. They cannot do that. What we have is a contribution line commitment that we would continue to contribute back to the open source platform and support it as we go. And that's renewed on an annual basis.
AJ, nice job. What's your biggest constraint to growth?
Excuse me?
Your biggest constraint? Your biggest constraint?
Right now, it's understanding how to approach the market. The software is in place. We have it's been proven. We're very competitive on all the feature sets. And it's trying to understand the market. We have very good understanding about the international market, less so about the domestic market.
If you could explain a little bit further the business model. You've got the open source stuff, so your secret sauce and your layer on top is the monthly fees or helping manage it?
We're a traditional SaaS-based offering. Our average is going to be about $50 per person per month. It's we have a configuration phase to onboard the client, but it's primarily SaaS-based revenue.
Can you quantify the impact? So for a single seat, how much time are they saving, or how many fewer people are necessary?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. We think it's an enormous impact. First and foremost, people are still using Google spreadsheets, holding private information. We solved that data privacy situation immediately. So that's a win right away. The second, we consolidate all the information in one place. So when they're doing the reporting, it's consistent and accurate. Second, we now have very accurate tracking along know when an intervention is needed. We can have a tickle that says, please contact the doctor to make sure that who's going to see the patient at that point in time. A lot of this is revolutionary for a lot of these nonprofits.
Can you talk about exit strategy or vision for that?
Yeah, so this is a surprisingly active M&A sector. Just recently, Terra did a big wrap-up that included a case management. That was over a $1 billion acquisition on their part. That's our most likely exit strategy. We're anticipating getting to 7 million in revenue in about 3 to 5 years, and at that point, we're looking at an exit strategy through an acquisition. Thank you very much.
Give us a minute.
All right, we're going to give the judges a few seconds to finish up their scorecards. Again, thanks again for all the companies that are here. We're going to keep all of judges keep all your scorecards till the end. We'll collect those to tabulate the final scores that way. All right, our next company is Scale Social. Will be presented by Ruben Dong.
All right, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Ruben. I'm the founder and CEO of Scale Social. We are building the infrastructure layer to allow for authentic word-of-mouth marketing to happen at scale. So Scale Social was actually born out of my personal experience. I was running a dumpling business with my mom in the Triangle area. We delivered dumplings door to door, and we got to know our customers by name. It was a phenomenal experience, but throughout that entire experience, we found it just incredibly difficult building a brand from scratch as a small business owner. We eventually sold the dumpling business, but that problem kind of stuck with me. Why is it so difficult doing that? It shouldn't be that way. And the aha moment we had was our customers would actually text me videos of their dumpling making experience, and that those turned out to be the best marketing assets. So we thought, well, why can't we make that into a thing? And so we built a proprietary platform, patent pending, on a seamless way to help brands think about restaurants, bars, hair salons, nail salons, right? But allowing these brands to gather content from the customers directly. We turn that content into viral videos that are launched across all digital medium, and they're also amplified out to targeted customers every single second at scale. And right now is the best time to do this because short form videos are everywhere. All of your major platforms are competing for attention. We are in the attention business. Consumers are also craving authenticity, especially in this day and age where tons of stuff are AI generated. And we are an AI company, but we're using AI for efficiencies and scale behind the scenes, not to use AI to generate fake content. And since the beginning of this year, we've grown our revenue fairly quickly. We should be on target to close at $500,000 in annual recurring revenue by end of this month. Our go-to-market motion from a top-down perspective is working really well. We have our advisors who are opening doors for us. We get introduced to CMOs of these major QSR and FSR brands, restaurants, and we launch pilots, and then we expand those pilots. As of yesterday, we have just secured a national deal with a 200 plus location brand, and we will be rolling out with that brand across all of their US locations. We've built a phenomenal team that have a unique combination of deep understanding of the operator mindset in the food and beverage space, AI expertise, consumer focus, as well as ways to scale the solution in a way that doesn't lose the authentic nature of this connection. And we're guided by some phenomenal advisors who have been helping us along the way, opening doors, introductions, connections, and mentoring us on the pricing structure that ultimately is now we're beginning to see it work actually in real time. We have a massive opportunity. Right now, we're focused on food and beverages, franchises only, right? And that's a $4 billion opportunity. But imagine for gyms, spin studios, hair salons, nail salons, that's really the next unlock. And we haven't even touched the long tail of small business owners. There are more than 33 million business owners out there today. We're not going after them today because it is extremely cost intensive to acquire those customers, but we are navigating our way to secure those clients as well. We are very fortunate. When we applied for this pitch, we were fundraising. We are now oversubscribed. Our pre-seed round will be led by Jason Calacanis and the syndicate. However, if you are investing in later stage, Series A and beyond, we would love to build a relationship with you. I think the mission is much, much bigger than where we are right now, and we will need the talent, the capital, and the network to really unlock that. If you know any franchise owners and or connection points in the franchise business, please let me know. I would love to connect with you. $750 per referral, and if they stay for more than 3 months, 250 additional bonus. Thank you.
Nice job. Congratulations on being oversubscribed.
Thank you.
So I want to make sure I understand the revenue model. You're selling into the franchisor.
Yes.
Are they making it available to the franchisees as a fee, or are they just making it available to them? Is it free to the franchisees at the local level, or are they having to pay for it?
We're beginning to see two models whereby the franchisor might subsidize part of the fee. So for QSR, it's at $1,000 per location per month. For full service restaurant, it's $2,000 per location per month. So subsidized one version. The other version is they would do an introduction to the franchisee. We will close the deal. Usually they're already sold.
Okay, thank you.
So as the consumer on the ground in the location scanning the QR code, are they prompted to download a mobile app to upload a video of their dining experience?
Great question. No. So it's scan a QR code. They end up on a branded web app. So there's no download, no integration.
No friction on the
No friction. It's a three-step process. Scan, upload, you get something immediately from the restaurant. That can be a free drink or a free appetizer.
Can you talk to us about the defensibility of the idea?
Defensibility. So we tend to think that IP has some staying power in this, but at the end of the day, our defensibility is our ability to solve the franchisor or franchisee problem in the deepest sense, and also revenue motion and the momentum. So we're building a brand within this segment, and we want to own this segment within a year.
Congrats on the JCal investment. That's awesome. I guess my two questions are, I see the hurdle being the adoption curve. Is the franchisee like open and training this? Is it in the right place at the place? How do you get over that hurdle? And then what happens in 2 years from now when AI is so good that it can replicate this with a simple prompt?
Great questions. The adoption curve is solved by case studies. So the brand that we're rolling out nationally, we signed a 3-month pilot with them. We're only 2 months into the pilot, and they're like, "This is working. We want it everywhere." The reason is because for the locations that they signed up, they saw a 104% sales increase year over year, directly attributable to what we do, right? So the result speaks for their willingness to sign up. We're certainly priced for early adoption, and so only the innovators and the ones that are really looking into the forefront of what this can be are signing up. To your second question, which is, sorry if you don't mind.
The AI.
Oh, yeah. So we internally are experimenting with a lot of AI enhancements. It's a fuzzy line, and I think as a company, we need to understand where we draw the line. Our core value proposition is on authenticity. So here's the question. At what point do you say this is still authentic versus AI enhanced? We've seen some really incredible enhancements that can be possible. I don't know if you guys still remember the Hogwarts photos in Harry Potter where the photos are actually moving. That's possible today through our technology. However, we haven't launched anything in that regard because we're very wary of the potential cascading effects that comes from it.
Quick question around stickiness. Have you seen much churn? And if not, what have you done to keep that low?
Yeah, we have. So in July of this year, which is last month, a month ago, we actually managed a lot of our churn from our 9 ICP segments. We did a lot of experimentations in roofing companies, in real estate. And so as a business and as a team, we decided to really just niche down. So far, the churn in the food segment is near negligent. But we're young, so we're like less than a year into it, so who knows?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's give it up for Ruben again. Give the judges a few more minute or so to finish up the scores. Is everyone still awake, still up here, ready to roll? Clap these businesses off? All right, we'll go ahead and move on with our next presentation. It's going to be Bruce Jones from Score Pharma. Let's give it up for Bruce.
Thank you. One in 3 people are expected to battle cancer in their lifetime. In fact, cancer steals 1 life every 3 seconds. That's 27,000 lives lost each day worldwide. Now, there is a class of drugs called antibody therapeutics that has revolutionized the treatment of cancer. However, the harsh reality remains that only about 20% of patients respond well to these drugs. And even worse, it takes 10 to 15 years. It costs upwards of $2 billion. And there is a 90% failure rate to get to one of these successful new drugs. So just imagine the impact. If you could take these drugs, the ones that have already run that gauntlet to success, and amplify them to make them 100 times more effective at fighting cancer. Taking a drug that only worked for 20% of the patients, and now having it work for the remaining 80%. As you just heard, I'm Bruce Jones. I am President and CEO of Score Pharma, and with our innovative process technology, we are enhancing the cancer-fighting capacity of existing antibody therapeutics. And while others have proven that this is a valid approach, they have relied on complex and expensive genetic engineering methods. Our process is a single step that achieves the same results without the need for genetic engineering. And we do this through a series of additives that are incorporated into the existing production processes of making an antibody therapeutic. We don't change anything. We simply add our additives, which are removed during the purification process. Now, since we can work with existing products, we can leverage off-patent, clinically validated products, enhance them, and reproduce them as new, more potent products. Now, our focus is cancer, and we're starting with breast cancer, which is estimated to be a $33 billion market by the year 2030. And we intend to carry our products through a phase 1 clinical trial and then license them. Deals of this nature, upfront payments, and over the past 5 years, those upfront payments have averaged $550 million. Our core executive team has over 100 years of combined experience in large and small pharma, including startups, and we have numerous accomplishments to our credit. We're raising $1.5 million pre-seed to support ongoing R&D efforts and patent expansion, as well as laying the foundation for additional fundraising to carry us through the phase 1 clinical trial and licensing. And our process technology is disease agnostic. So therefore, we do intend to develop a pipeline of high impact drugs, which we, as such, with a pipeline of drugs, we do anticipate to be a very attractive acquisition target, given the value impact of multiple pharmaceutical products, plus a proven process technology that allows you to get more products. Over the past 5 years, comparables in this space have average deal values exceeding $4 billion, with a top end of $1 billion. Score Pharma is truly transforming drug discovery process by leveraging existing products, therefore reducing development time, costs, and risk, while improving patient outcomes. With one successful deal, we become self-sustaining. With multiples, we become an attractive acquisition at target. And our process technology has the potential to unlock multiple billion-dollar opportunities. With that, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Bruce. It's great work. So you're already working with approved therapeutics.
We are working with off-patent approved therapeutics.
Does that have the potential to compress your regulatory approval?
Yes.
By how much?
To be conservative, we say 2 to 3 years. To dream, it could be upwards of we could compress it by 5 years, 6 years.
Oh. Out of 12 to 15? So you
Yeah, so in the whole overall drug development scheme, it's about 5 to 7 years to get to what's called IND-enabling studies. And then it's that other 5 to 7 years. We're probably closer to the IND-enabling studies because we're starting. So that 5 to 7 years, we're already starting with an approved product. We know that it clinically works. So that's 5 years right there.
Thank you.
You've got your secret sauce process, right? So you're going in and targeting existing therapeutics. How difficult is it for you to convince the owners of those drugs to let you see their process, enhance it, and then share the upside for the new therapeutic?
That's an excellent question and is strategically interesting. We are not convincing the owners of the original products because if you look at biosimilars, which are generic for large molecule biologic drugs, there are a lot of them that are sitting on the shelves. So we're finding those smaller guys that have that process made, and they're basically sitting on the shelves or in a very small market, a foreign market. And we approach them and say, we think we've got something interesting for you. We know you're not going to be in branded pharmaceuticals. You don't have the machinery. Let us use your product. We'll enhance it, develop that next product, and then we'll take it through the phase 1, and then we'll shop it. So if you're a large pharmaceutical and you have a $7 billion product, and it works about here, and Score Pharma comes along and we say, we know you, Mr. Large Pharma, have had your flagship product eroded by 50% due to biosimilars. How about if you take something that's just a little bit better? You can regain that full market share. You already have the machinery. You have your operating into the doctor's office, your sales, you're not changing the manufacturing process. We're just doing something a little different for you. You've got to use our product and you're probably interested. But you're also interested. So I'm going to put you in a bidding war because it's not your product.
Can you speak to your choice of indication and why you're choosing to start with breast when there may be other less popular indications that would have less competition?
So we'll dive a little bit deeper into the science. Breast cancer, it's a HER2 positive breast cancer. And when we say it's HER2 positive, there's a specific protein that's overexpressed, called a HER2 high expression. By enhancing trastuzumab or Herceptin for that product, we can not only effectively help those patients already on it, but we can also go after a more the 1 million patients who are not HER2 quote unquote positive. They're low expression HER2. So that expands that market. So HER2 positive is 350,000 patients yearly. HER2 lower expression is in breast cancer alone is 1 million patients, but it opens it up to various other cancer indications. So it's a good target, and it's got a comparator that's not quite working.
You're raising 1.6 for the pre-seed.
1.5.
1.5. Can you talk about milestones? That number seems a little low for what you're trying to do. Can you just talk through milestones?
Yeah, there's 2 specific milestones. We need to hire an immunologist, and we need to run 1 study. So we want to get that. And really what it's intended to be is to protect our early investors to give them a greater enterprise value, because once we have that, then we can go after a larger valuation.
And I guess a follow-on, this is not my territory whatsoever for thesis, but is there not public funding, grants, things like that, that might be non-dilutive, that would be better at the earliest stages?
We have several non-dilutive applications in. Yes, there is non-dilutive funding. Given the current political economic state, it's not something that you want to rely on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll give it up again for Bruce from Score Pharma. Give the judges a few minutes to, or at least a minute to get their calculations done. All right. Next presenter is going to be Mimi Keelan from Tesafe Medical Solutions. Let's give it up for Mimi, please.
One of the most basic things we use to assess patients is urine. In the healthcare industry for over 15 years, I've seen firsthand how the Foley catheter has failed many times. What you see on the screen is the Foley catheter. This system is outdated and unreliable. So much so, once I had a patient who almost died because no one realized the patient was putting out massive amounts of urine every hour. That night, I got in my car and said, "This is a problem the nurses face every day. I should invent the solution." And that is what I did. Hi, my name is Dr. Mimi Keelan, DMP. I'm the founder and CEO of Tesafe Medical Solutions. There's a plethora of issues with the Foley: wrong meds, delayed care, and unfortunately, even death. Hospitals spend over $450 million every year on direct costs related to the Foley. Everything about the Foley is subjective. There's no consistency. One person sees red, another sees amber. This may not seem important, but this is highly significant when it comes to diagnosing a patient. There's also no consistency. How much is in the bag? No precision. Once urine spills on the floor, you can't count it. There's also the issue of embarrassment. Everyone gets to see what's inside the bag: blood, pus, or whatever else may be there. It takes up a massive amount of nurses' time because he or she has to go in and look at the Foley often. So what's the solution? UriSense. Uri Smart solves every problem the Foley has and at much significant cost, less. It's enclosed, so it allows dignity for the patient. The device detects color, clarity, and volume all in real time. These results are automatically presented to the hospital's EMR system. It has a specificity to it, so a clinician can say they want to be notified based on diagnosis, medication, or how the patient is trending up or down. It also has a diagnostic feature, so we remove the lag time from having to collect urine and send it to the lab. The device itself is enclosed, so it provides dignity. It solves every problem the Foley has. It's a game changer. There's nothing on the market now. Our product is superior above anything else currently. The benefits to the hospital are numerous. We're reducing infection because the device is designed with a valve that prevents backflow. So hospitals save millions of dollars. We are producing real-time results and removing the human error because now everything is consistent with precision and accuracy. The current Foley market is almost $2 billion. We've seen a steady increase every year for multiple decades consistently. By 2033, we're projected to be at $3 billion. And where we are in North America has the highest market usage. This is important because there is an international market and we hold pending patents in both the EU and China. In 2024, we were issued our Canada patent. In 25, we were issued our US patent. And we are on course in 2026 to complete our pilot study. And by 27, we will have our FDA 510 Class 2 medical device clearance, which will be our first opportunity to exit. This is our team, myself, our co-founder George, who is a chemist and scientist and a founder of a cancer drug. We have two highly acclaimed medical doctors in the Raleigh area. Our project managers have over 50 years of experience, and our mentor, Greta. Our ask is 1.2 mil. This would allow us to complete our regulatory pathway, our pilot products, and also complete all legal work. Our 5-year projection, we plan to sell at least 2,000 on our first year, and by year 5, 350,000. This is conservative and based on the research and hospitals in the market in our area. I want to thank you so much for your time and attention. I am eager and excited to talk to you. And if you want to know more about how Tesafe Medical is disrupting the current Foley market with data-driven care in a $3 billion market, looking for 1.2 mil and a chief officer, please see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keelan. Two questions, but can you talk about the role of insurance providers in the selling process here, if they have a role at all? You're going to have to get them to approve it.
You say insurance?
Insurance providers, yeah.
Yes. So there is a predicate device, so we're not reinventing the wheel. That won't be an issue.
Okay. But for hospitals to use them, and insurance have to,
You say which
will
hospital?
insurance companies have to approve the use of it?
No, because there's a common Foley right now catheter, so we're just following this predicate device. So
Yeah.
it would have the same coding.
What's the cost difference between current Foley and
So the product that is comparable to ours is 2,500 to 3,500.
okay?
A follow-up on the cost, you mentioned 25 million annual product savings. That compared to Foley?
Right. So $250 million we predict in savings because hospitals spend 450 right now. So the way the device is designed is going to help prevent infection.
Ultimately, you're replacing the Foley catheter with hard plastic cartridges that I'm assuming you're
Correct.
consumable in the device.
Yes, sir, it is. It's a razor blade model.
Can you talk about your exit strategy for this? It sounds like you're thinking of early acquisition, because I imagine doing distribution and sales and all the other stuff as a larger business, like an R&D sort of play with this? Talk about what your vision is for that.
Yes, sir. We have two options. So once we are FDA cleared, we have an opportunity to exit at that point. If we decide not to, then we would just license it.
And the existing product now, I mean, they're not going to go down without a fight. What's the landscape look like in terms of knocking these competitors off? Or they have to be entrenched, right? In some ways, like how do you insert yourself into the market?
The direct competitor right now is only for critical care patients. So that is a specialty. What we are doing is volume. So we are for every nurse, every floor, and every specialty.
Is the device built at this point, and then have you solved the integration problem with the EHRs?
Yes, sir. We have a fully functional working MVP. I can insert it in someone right now.
And the EHR integration is completed, and which ones are your?
So we designed a device where it can be compatible to Epic or Cerner. We didn't choose one for cost. Secondly, we didn't know which hospital would pick us up first.
Can you discuss the milestones in the next 12 to 18 months that with this one get a success?
Our primary goal is to be FDA cleared. So the amount that we're asking for would allow us to go all the way through FDA clearance. We don't have another route. That's the important goal.
All right, let's give it up for Dr. Mimi again. Thank you very much. That was great. Give you a few more seconds for our judges to. Hours? Seems like sometimes there's Jeopardy music between this, but that's okay. All right, and now we're going to go for our last company, Brennan Barber from Terra Clinic.
Hi, I'm Brennan Barber. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Theralink. And at Theralink, we're improving collaboration and coordination in pediatric therapy. I'd like to share a quick personal story. So, the little guy you see here, that's my son, Elliot. Elliot was born premature at 32 weeks. And in the months following his birth, he began missing developmental milestones. Shortly after his first birthday, he was officially diagnosed with cerebral palsy. At that point in time, his outlook was very much uncertain. But today, at the age of 8, thanks to early intervention therapies and an amazing care team of providers, Elliot's thriving. He's academically gifted, he's adapting well socially with his peers, and he continues to exceed expectations. And the research shows that kids like him that receive therapies prior to the age of 5 have dramatically improved outcomes. But not every kid has equal access to quality care. And the first 5 years of life are critical for one specific reason. During this stage, a child's brain can develop new neural pathways at a rate that just cannot be replicated later in life. So, for example, a child can build a new motor skill with about 40 reps of an exercise as opposed to 400 to 500 reps that it would take in later years. So that's why timing and access are essential. In many families, lack that support in the beginning. They're navigating a complex healthcare system, trying to figure out which therapies are right for their child, finding a provider, but being waitlisted for months, and later realizing that private insurance is only covering a fraction of their annual appointments, leading to rising out-of-pocket expenses that average around $6,000 per child annually. So that's where Theralink comes in. At Theralink, we've built a mobile application families can download immediately following a diagnosis, simply recognition of motor delays, answer a few simple questions about their child, and receive medically validated weight-based exercises to begin therapy at home. Once they're working with a provider, the provider can use the app alongside the family to build a customized care plan based on the child's goals. families can manage all of their therapists on one simple interface despite the fragmentation of health systems. So no toggling between multiple patient portals. We're saving families time and money. We're improving adherence to therapy programs, and we're allowing therapists to maximize their billable hours. We do all of this for one low-cost monthly subscription. As one of our customers said, quote, "Theralink is more than an app, it's a companion that follows the child throughout their therapy journey." So this market's huge and underserved. There's over $30 billion spent each year on motor development therapies in the US. Globally, there are 236 million children under the age of 17 with moderate to severe disability. There are 12.6 million children in the US receiving direct care, and our initial target market is the 1.25 million children eligible for early intervention services. So how do we get here? Where are we going? We launched the company in October of 2023 with a prototype and early user trials in the Duke Health and Wake County school systems. In April of 24, we received NCIDA grant funding to refine our product, and we launched beta trials with new users in multiple states. In April of this year, we launched our product live on the App Store, and we now have our first paying customers and new partnership opportunities in procurement with an eye on a Q4 close. We put together an amazing team. My co-founder, Bethany Darrows, also our chief clinical officer. She is a licensed occupational therapist with over 15 years of experience in the home, school, and private settings. She's also my son's first occupational therapist. Matt McDonald, our CTO. Matt has worked for tech companies in Seattle and Boston, leading development teams. And Jeff Headley, our CISO, has extensive data security background. So we are a grant-strapped company to date. We are fundraising, raising $1 million to give us another 18 months of runway. We do have 2 pending grant opportunities currently. One is an SBIR NIH research grant. That would get us about halfway to that funding target. We're opening an equity round later this fall. So thank you very much for your time today. And if you're interested in learning more about our round or simply how you can partner to help us improve the lives of some of our most vulnerable kids, I'd love to speak with you. Thank you.
Tell us a little more. You had 10 partners signed up. Is that?
That is what our fundraise will get
okay.
us. Yes.
So B2B, who are you targeting? Who's going to be buying this?
Yeah. So right now our model is actually more B2B2C. So we are meeting with providers, hospital systems, and pediatricians, and using them as channel partners to all of their families. As we fundraise, as we grow, the idea is we will pivot to more of a B2B model.
Okay. Is there insurance reimbursement? And then where do you see it? Can the platform be used for other areas in the future?
Yeah, great question. So we're actually exploring insurance reimbursement currently. Right now, it is just an out-of-pocket expense to families. We're $15 a month, so it's very affordable. But we are exploring that as well as HSA reimbursement. And as far as growing and scaling, we see this moving into adult rehabilitative care, into elder care. So there are other applications. Right now, the disciplines that we're focused on are primarily occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech-language pathology. One of our pending partnerships, though, is with a behavioral health clinic, so moving into ABA therapy would be a new discipline.
Can you discuss go-to-market further? You know, B2B2C, so using providers to get you into families. It's early now, but I guess how do you see that working from a relationship standpoint? You're not paying the physicians, right? It's partnership.
Correct. So right now, our value prop to the providers that we're working with is primarily that we're helping them reduce their administrative burdens. They can better engage with their wait list, get patients for the children that are coming into clinic. With reimbursement, though, that is an opportunity for us to then allow therapists to bill for, say, remote patient treatment. That would be, a new value prop at the point in time.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's give it up for all 5 companies pitching today. Let's give them a big round of applause. Very inventive, very different, brings a lot of this founder community together, which is awesome. So right now, our judges will be tallying all their scores. We're gonna take all the scorecards, isolate them in a room. Hopefully, there's some black smoke or white smoke will come up on judging who's the winner or not. But yeah, that joke didn't work. So all right, following in this way to be able to tally those up. Let's give a round of applause to our judges today. And I'm going to introduce the Master of Ceremonies, Peter Marsh, who take it over for a little bit of the MC.
Thank you, Josh. Give it up for Josh. He's been a great MC today. Okay, I'm stepping into the script here a little bit just to explain what's going to be going on this afternoon. Let me make sure. There we go. So, so this afternoon we have 3 concurrent activities. We have the one-on-one meetings here in the atrium at the numbered tables. And I see that the majority of our audience has migrated back to the numbered tables. Just be aware that as soon as the title round is over and we announce the grand prize, those tables are assigned to specific investors who have scheduled one-on-one meetings with founders. So if that table isn't assigned to you, you're going to need to move so that they can have the one-on-one meetings. And that's after we announce the grand prize. If you wanted to meet with an investor, but their stance card is fully booked up, then your best opportunity is to use the messaging function in the app and ask for a meetup or a coffee chat somewhere. Identify a spot where you want to meet the investor. So that's the way to meet with a person whose dance card is full. If the investor did not accept the host invitation to their table, that means they don't want to meet with anybody, or they're not at the event. Okay, so that's how that function works. The majority of the tables are booked with investor meetings, and again, if you want to meet with somebody and the dance card is full, use the messaging function and try to arrange a meetup. All right. Office hours are going to continue in 3 of the rooms today. Flywheel Advisors, First Launch Venture Studio, and help me out, Jill, who's the third one? Michael Best. Cool. So those are in the same rooms as yesterday, right behind this wall on the right-hand side. And then the new program element that we have this year is the Corporate Matchmaker program. So the Corporate Matchmaker sessions are an opportunity for you founders to talk to real customers. Okay? They have expressed interest in being here, hearing about the innovation activities that are occurring in the region. Is anyone from the chamber here, the Greater Winston-Salem Inc.? Come on up. Come on up and say a few words about sponsoring this. So these are top corporations in the region. About half of them are in the medical market, either as medical systems or medical providers. There are a number of companies that are in the go-to-market space, either as marketing firms or Excalibur, which is a direct mail company. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of getting spammed by emails and text messages. And we have learned at Flywheel that direct mail is a great way to get in front of customers. So go ahead and take it from here.
Thank you, Peter. Good to see you all. Thanks so much for having us here. We are honored to get to help host this Corporate Matchmaker event and are really excited for the connections that will be made today. So if you have not thought about attending, please pop your head in. We're really looking forward to what will come out of these conversations. Thanks so much for allowing us to sponsor.
Okay, so the companies that are So first of all, you were able to sign up for these appointments at the sign-up table. There are still some slots open. You can go to the info table to find out what's still available. But the corporate matchmakers are Charter Medical, the Regenerative Medicine Institute of North Carolina, Wildfire LLC, Atrium Health, Fifth Letter, Wake Forest University School of Medicine, Advocate Health, and LabCorp. LabCorp actually jumped into this week. Their ventures arm is here. So if you are a biotech or health tech company, you're definitely going to want to meet with LabCorp. And then I also heard a rumor in the hallway that Front Street Capital, which is one of the major investors and developers of the Innovation Quarter, is also going to be hosting a table in the corporate matchmaker room. That's not right? Okay, sorry. I retract that statement. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the announcement about this afternoon's keynote. Eric Weissman, the executive director of NextGen, who is a master ecosystem builder and a friend of Flywheel in Greenville, South Carolina, is going to be giving a fabulous keynote at 3 o'clock about what constitutes healthy ecosystems, healthy startup ecosystems. Eric is really an amazing individual. He's participated in the developing ecosystems in Ohio and South Carolina, and it's well worth attending his keynote. And then I guess it's time to announce the winner, right? So I'm going to ask Garrett Ring with SiteSource. Garrett, where are you? Is Garrett here? Garrett? Oh, Garrett. All right. I'm going to be Garrett. So SiteSource is the title sponsor of the grand prize today. They are uh, one of the top software development firms here in the Triad region, and they work on a variety of software platforms and tech stacks. So they're well known in this region, and they were kind enough to offer $50,000 in software development services to the grand prize winner. So let's get a big round of applause for SiteSource. All right. Jill, can you check to see how the judges are doing? Because it is time. Hopefully they're still talking to each other. Thank you. The music. I know the suspense is killing everyone. All right, it looks like we've got a verdict. Garrett, you want to come up? So I did a lousy job presenting SiteSource. Can you say a few words about what SiteSource is all about, and then we'll announce the grand prize winner.
Absolutely. First of all, let me thank Flywheel for an excellent event, and also all of you founders for the phenomenal work that you have put into. We've had a blast discussing all of your dreams, all of the work you've put in yesterday on the floor, and learning from you in the pitches. So I hope you won't be too disheartened if your name's not the one that I'm about to announce. However, as Peter said, I do have the fortune to subject you to about a minute about SiteSource before I do announce that. So please bear with me. We are custom software developers. We work for companies in a pretty wide variety of industries, but our customers are ones who are struggling with processes that they've outgrown, They are forced to upgrade an old solution, or they simply desire a new approach. What they're currently using is outdated in terms of architecture, interface design. What they can buy off the shelf is too costly, or doesn't belong to them ultimately, or doesn't actually fit their business processes like a glove. Our developers are located in Winston-Salem. We pride ourselves on our passion, on our dedication, and we develop for our clients as if we were developing for ourselves. All right, without further ado, I'm going to announce the winner, and I am proud to say that it is Tesafe Medical Solutions. Congratulations.
Come on up. Eric, come back to the stage so we can get some photos. All right, so that's the end of the title round. What I would like to ask is for all of the participants in the title round to come back to the stage area. We want to take some photos. And all of the judges, if you will come back up to the stage area, we're going to take a couple of shots. All right, so we're going to move on to the one-on-one meetings, the corporate matchmaker sessions, and the office hours. Have a great afternoon. Lunch is being set up. That'll be served at noon.